Alright, so we are at Frontenac State Park, located in Red Wing, Minnesota. Technically, it's kind of Frontenac, Minnesota, but the address here is for Red Wing. And there is good cell phone service here all throughout the park, so it would seem. Now, I did a camp here last night at Cardin Site number 3 in the Cardin Campground. And that was a decent campground. And I did do a scout of that yesterday as well. So I recommend you check that out if interested. Now today we're going to do another scout here, and this is going to be of the main campground. Now there's 4 loops in this campground. It is kind of crowded. It's close quarters with neighbors. And I believe just the first, maybe the second loop are the only ones open in the winter months. So we're about a week or 2 away from them shutting down the last 2 loops, and maybe the second loop as well. Now I did do a scout of this campground last November 2024. However, I was just kind of driving through and just kind of showing, using the body cam to direct from my vehicle. And the efficacy of those particular scouts are not as potent as the ones when I have boots on the ground. And since I have the time and I'm in the area here, and I did a camp last night, I'm going to go ahead and do another scout here. And like we've recently been doing, I'm going to first do a pre-scout where we drive through with the vehicle and just kind of take a look at the nice quality of the dash cam. And then we're going to find a place to park, pop out, and then take a closer look with the body cam. And it looked like about 30% of the campground is reserved. So there's going to be a handful of sites we can't walk inside and look around. But a lot of them we will be able to do that. And either way, we're going to get a really good idea of the layout and the sites. So going straight would be the picnic area and the Cardin campground. But here we take a left to go to the main campground. I believe my camp last night is my 5th camp trip here at Frontenac State Park. So this is one of the top parks that I've camped at the most. I think Myrie Big Island might be tied. I'm probably going to need to take a break from camping at this park for a year, probably, but we'll see what happens. Cardin Site number 6 seems to be the most private of all the campsites in this state park, except for the backpack sites, which those are really close to the railroad. But either way, all right, let's take a look at these sites here. This is the first loop. So that loop stays open all year round, and I'm pretty sure the second loop is open all year round as well. As you can see, it's really, really crowded. So a lot of people here have RVs, so that really wouldn't be a big deal for them probably. Site 28 here, I camped here once during the winter months. I wouldn't recommend that site. It's kind of in the open, but it's real close to the restrooms here and the vault toilet. And I don't think the showers are open in the winter months either, but there's still that vault toilet right there. All right, now we're going to look at the third loop here, which this would be closed in the winter months. And visitor parking straight ahead. And here's the trail for Yan Teopa Rock. I have not yet seen that rock. I might do it today. Not sure yet. So this is the fourth and final loop of the campground here, and this is by far my favorite loop. This has the best sights here, in my opinion, though they are still crowded. And it's mainly the three sites here at the tip of the loop that really I like the most here. There's a trail here, just to our right. So site 49 here, I stayed here on Thanksgiving, I believe 2023. That's an awesome site. Site 50, I stayed here, 2020, later in 2023, I think, or 2024. Not totally sure, but it was the next year. And 51, I stayed here last year in November. That was 2024. So all three of these sites I would recommend. And that vault toilet, by the way, straight ahead, that is one of the nicest vault toilets in all the vault toilets I've experienced. Just to our right here is where the group camp is. And it's supposed to be reserved, but the gate's open. So we're just going to go ahead and see if we can weasel in a gander here. There is a trail entrance point along here as well, if I remember right. Yep, right here to our left. That's a good trail. And to our right. So here's the group camp. Let's see what we can see. Oh. Gonna look around here real quick before that guy gets mad. Got two vault toilets back there, really nice. Those are the same kind of vault toilets in the Cardin site with the paint job. Nice little gazebo over there in the picnic area. Yeah, so that's not a bad group camp based on what I saw there. It's nice and secluded. You know, based on what I saw there, that might be in the top 10 list for group camps, actually, out of the ones that I've seen. Maybe top 5. All right, now we're going to continue on this final loop of the main campground here. And just to our right is another site that I wish I could stay at, but it's an accessible site, technically. So, but that looks like a good one as well. That's site 53. More visitor parking to our right. You can park there to check out Yan Teopa Rock, probably. And more parking here, like we saw earlier. All right, so that's a pre-scout of this main campground here, driving through with the vehicle and the dash cam. So I'm gonna find a place to park up here, and we're gonna pop out, take a closer look with the body cam, with boots on the ground. I don't know if any of you have ever seen the movie Back to the Future, but if you have, right in front of us, that's the Libyans. There they are. We found them. Looks like some trail access over here. I think that's the Upper Bluffs Trail. This site 5 has kind of been on my radar. If I were to do like a winter camp here, it's real close to the vault toilet. Still it's a crowded area, but still kind of nice. You're right off this river here, right by Lake Pepin. It's the Mississippi, Wisconsin on the other side. So I might have to do this one day here. I think this would be a good one when a really super cold day, like below teens. Yeah, so this is my favorite site so far. Not too bad. I got a broom here. It's kind of neat. And a light, which I don't think that'll work. Looks good. Pretty quiet out here. Alright, so that's the first loop. I like how there was someone there actually reading a book. I wish that happened more often with my camp neighbors. It's like a dump station over here, off in this area. Driving around over there. Alright, the second loop. close quarters here. This one has a really nice tent pad on it. It's like a pea gravel, I believe it's called that. Pea gravel, in my opinion, is pretty good for laying a tent down on. This looks like another one. Site 21 here. The tent pad right there. Right off the river. You got a good view of the river. It'd probably be really cold and windy, but this might be another good, really cold winter night camp here. The vault toilet's over there though, so I don't see a path to get to it from here. You want to hope you can cut through. And the trail access here. And there's another one, 22. Yeah, I really like this one. I mean, close quarters, close neighbors aside, I really like this one. Looks like a trail down there. You can pop right on that right from here. It's supposed to be a windy day today. It's already kind of windy. Yeah, I like this one. The vault toilet's actually just down there, so it's not too bad of a walk. The only time it's good to have a vault toilet right next to you is if it's super cold out and there's no other people there. Otherwise you're going to hear the door slamming. I really like these trees. Wow, it's really cool, just really open right here. People walking down that trail. Pretty close to the trail walkers over there. Wow. Yeah, there's several good sites here. The only problem is the close quarters with the neighbors.
But I'm kind of amazed to see how many people here are reading books. It's like everyone's reading a book. Wow, that is so cool. A dream come true. I wish they were doing that last night when I was camping at the Cardin site. Wow. A little close, but you got some brush here, and that's where they park their vehicle. Forgot their trash. It's a good one. Yeah, they're both these. They're cute. I don't want to piss this dog off over here, so I'm not going to go all the way around here. I'll get the trash. I love how these last few sites we looked at have this big opening back here. Kind of reminds me of some parts of Wild River State Park Campground in North Branch, Minnesota. It's along the same river, though at that point it's the St. Croix, I believe. It's not yet the Mississippi, but that's just semantics. The leaves kind of cover, so I'm not really sure where, but I guess back here, over here. Oh, I think I heard a red squirrel in the background. It's got a nice tent pad. Looks like it has a little step for it too. That's kind of cool. Totally sure why this picnic table's here. This doesn't look like a camp spot. And I love when they have these rocks by the drive-ins. Really like those a lot. Just makes it feel warm, gives it a good feeling, a good vibe. Alright, here's one of my old buddies. This is March of 2023. I believe I stayed here a week after St. Patrick's Day, which was one of the coldest trips I ever had. It wasn't too cold here though. Yeah, there was snow everywhere, and I put my tent on the driveway here because it made the most sense. stared at the fire, watched the sunset, and then saw the constellations. This is probably the ideal location for a tent, though. Now that I don't have snow cover and everything, I can see. And when I stayed here, right where that trailer is, or actually right there, right where that RV is. There's a guy that approached me the next morning, and he said, "Did you serve? Sir, did you serve?" And I always remember that moment. It cracks me up. I told him no, I didn't, but he thought I might have because I was just staring at the fire. Like all hope was lost. And I had the rucksack, and so it kind of looked like it, but at that moment, it still cracks me up. Every time I come to Frontenac, I think of him approaching me saying, "Did you serve?" That's the second loop, and these two loops are open during the winter. Let's see if I can, oh, there's trash right there. Throw this trash out. I'm afraid of Samaritans. So this is the vault toilet you probably use if you're camping on this side of this second loop here. But if you're camping on the first side of the second loop, you might be able to cut across if some of the campsites in the first loop are vacant to that vault toilet there. Not too bad. Not too bad at all. Yep, they closed this for the season. So they still haven't shut down the last two loops yet. So I guess they shut down the showers before they shut down the last two loops for reserving. A little free library. So we're right up in here right now. Now last night I camped at the Cardin Campground, which is right off of L in here. I think it's a relatively new campground, the Cardin Campground, because I don't see it on this map here, but it's right in this vicinity. And I do got a scout of that. I recommend you check that out. It's pretty interesting. The risk there is close quarters with neighbors. There's that group camp we just saw, which looks like it's 1100 elevation over there. So we're going to continue on with the final two loops. Pretty tight quarters here. Pretty close. That's brutal. That's a little brutal. So this is what we're going to see here is where every other site they should have nicked. And I still think they can do that. Just every year, just block out every other site. It'll help the land to recover, and then just rotate every year. If you're worried about cost, just raise the prices a little bit for all the other reservations. Add $1 or $2, you're good. Yeah, they're all super crammed in over here. Got nice fall leaves, fragrance in the air right now. It's pretty nice. I mentioned earlier we do have good cell signal here. It's 53 degrees right now and windy. It's very warm for this time of year, but it's probably just a fluke week. Last weekend it was in the upper teens. That was pretty cold. I know a lot of people taking advantage of the nice weather here. A lot of reservations started happening several days leading up to this day, this weekend. It almost hit the lower 70s. I really like this spot for a tent. The problem is the oncoming lights of the cars, the vehicles. It's an okay distance from over here. Another nice tent pad here. So every Every now and then you'll see a nice tent pad. Somebody left these wood pieces here. It might have been to boost the table or boost their RV or something. There's a trail just down there. Really peaceful out. Like, you can feel like everyone's at peace. No one's really rowdy or annoying. Everyone's just calm and peaceful. You can really feel it. And this has an awesome tent pad, an awesome tree, an awesome setup here. Kind of near the road, but not too bad. I don't like the direct path to the other side though, that's obnoxious. It's always weird. Pretty good cover. Sun will come up, go around this way. So right in here, I'm not sure if this tree has leaves. It might be a dying tree, but it probably does have leaves. It looks okay to me, but I'm not much of an arborist. And Yan Teopa Rock Trail's right there. If I'm saying that wrong and you know the correct way to say it and you want to tell me with a smiley face crying emoji, just keep it to yourself. Nobody likes to know it all. And this could get annoying with vehicles parking here to go to the trail. That could get obnoxious, depending on the traffic. This one's kind of in the open here. There's a slant. Close to this one. I like this tree though, and that tree too. That tree's gonna totally rock one day. If it lives long enough, that would really help. All right. Now we take a look at the final loop at this campground at Frontenac State Park, the 4th loop. Still haven't seen that yet, but I did hike from the end of this loop down all the way to Villa Maria past the backpack sites, and then I came back through Old Frontenac. That's a really nice hike. They're very close to this trail here. Very close. It's even a courtesy shortcut from this site. So that could get annoying. Decent spot for a tent right here, or in here maybe. A little close over here. And then weird path to another site. I've had to have seen at least 10 people just reading books here. I've never seen that before. Oh, I hope that keeps happening everywhere I go. Good spot for a tent. A little close. A little close. Not a super bad spot for a tent. But right by the road here. Site 42. This is a pretty good site. It's got a really nice tent pad too. A lot of people look at me like I've never seen a human being hiking in a campground before. It's pretty weird. A little close. Got the headlights from that vehicle over here, coming into here. Right by the picnic table here. Yeah. Yeah, 44 is pretty decent too. You're almost on a little bluff here. Wow. Yeah. Trails right down here. Nice tent pad. A little close. I like how it's up on this bluff thing though. That's kind of cool. Right by the river. So I'm thinking 42 and 44, pretty decent. 44 doesn't really jump at me, but it's decent. Still close. Pretty close to here. This looks like it has 2 tent pads, so I can't wait to look at that in a second. Pretty close. Pretty close. So you're kind of just surrounded, kind of in the open here with the road. They managed to put a lot of these cool rocks though in the driveway area. Not directly in it, of course, but alongside it. This is just painfully close right here. But still, if you could get one of these sites and not have any neighbors, pretty decent. The ones along the river here, the ones towards along the road, I'm not a big fan of. They almost shouldn't even have done those. They should have just left that space between the road. It seems like when they make campgrounds, it's almost like it naturally becomes addicting to try to squeeze in as many as you can, like it's a game. It's kind of what it seems like. Or maybe they have a dollar amount they have to hit, so then they try to achieve a certain amount of sites. It just doesn't make sense to me. Okay, so here's 47, and this one is very, very, very unique because it has 2 extraordinarily massive tent pads. I guess the extraordinarily wasn't necessary, but there's still wow, you know, you could fit 2 tents on one of them. At least I could anyways, my tent. So if you don't need a big campsite, you want a decent view, well, there'd be leaves in the summer, but if you want to be near the river, you need a lot of tent space. This would be a good one for you. It's a very unique one. Kind of wondering what the thought was behind this. There might be a reason for it. When you go to reserve this site on the DNR page, there might be in the comments in the remarks section some kind of explanation. But I don't think I've ever seen that. I've seen hundreds and hundreds of campsites. I've never seen a dual tent pad that I can recall. It's such a small site too. Ain't bad. So I've camped at the next 3 over on the other side of this trail here. And this one I considered several times when I was booking the other ones. But I'm not, this one isn't on my docket, that's for sure at this point. Although it is it's in a backup plan list. It's not too bad. This site I would highly recommend. Site 49. It's a really good one. You got space here. And this one as well, though this one is sandwiched between the two. It's still a good one here. I like this one. I camped here as well. Camped here that time I took the that hike I mentioned earlier to Villa Maria, past the backpack sites and through Old Frontenac, and then back here. And I even meandered through a portion of the Cardin site area, trying to get back in time before it got too dark. That's a good site. Just wilderness, coyotes hopefully. But as we saw, there is a group camp a little deeper back. And all of these sites here are right next to one of the best vault toilets you'll ever find in a state park in Minnesota. I think the last time I was here, I stayed at site 51 right here, which is another awesome site. And someone had like one of those little the electric tea candles in that vault toilet. It was so cool. The only issue with these sites here is they're close to each other. And this one is close to the vault toilet. So you might have a lot of vault toilet action from the surrounding sites. Traffic. When I stayed here, it wasn't that bad. I put my tent right over here. Crazy how the mind just brings you back memories when you go to a location. So these are probably my favorite sites here, these three. Yeah, we'll look at 52 first, and then we'll check out that super awesome vault toilet. Looks like a red squirrel. It looks like a mixture between a red and a gray, actually. Interesting. like that rattlesnake sound the red squirrels make. It always makes me smile. So in here, you're just gonna have potential headlights drilling you to death. And I do believe that these sites are fairly popular, so that may be the case. I always consider Frontenac kind of like a cold season place to camp myself. But you can't camp over here in the colder months. But you can in this time of year, November. And I think they opened up in April, but I'm not 110% sure on that. Alright, cue the drum roll. Well, it smells like cigarettes. So, derelicts, of course. And weed, someone was hotboxing it in here. We got a lot of potheads in this day and age now. It's really sad because they're so stupid. But anyways, this is where that tea candle was, that electric tea candle. That was so cool, man. And every time I've been in here, except for this moment, this has been just tip-top shape. Now it just smells like horrible, really cheap weed. You get in the 90s if you were desperate and you found a meth head who had some that were growing it in their backyard. So yeah, kudos to the derelict who made this smell so horrible. It just smells like failure and apathy and sadness and losing. That's what it smelled like. So this is a site that I want to reserve, but it seems to be an ADH or an accessible site. I don't see any evidence of it in real life. It's kind of in the open too with the sun. I actually was going to book that site, but I saw it was an accessible site, so I backed off. And I went with the Cardin sites instead. So these sites in the middle are kind of just sandwiched. Site 55 at Maplewood State Park in the Knoll Loop. That's one of my favorite sites at Maplewood. I think that's in Pelican Rapids, Minnesota. Midwest, central western part of the state. That's kind of sad. Wonder what they had up here. I try to undo knots best I can before I resort to a knife or a blade. But it's good to be able to take care of knots. That came in especially handy on my camp trip last weekend when it was really cold and I couldn't get one of my stuff sacks open. It was getting caught. But this knot making me take longer than I want to take. the end of the day, it's going to take you half a century. Just do that. That's 4 occurrences of dereliction we've encountered since we've been here. You know, they say the Creator is perfect, yet there's no evidence of that in humanity's behavior. This one's not too bad. You just got the parking here, but reasonable distance from that site. Headlights from the other side over here facing the other way. This looks like a reasonable one here. It's so close. I wonder why they're in their vehicle watching me when they could be out enjoying their campsite. 42 is one of the best sites here, but they're hiding in their vehicle. That's really weird. Okay, so I'm a little irritated at the fruitcakes in Site 42. Pig hogged it, even though they're hiding in their vehicle, so we couldn't get in there and look around, but that's okay. So this is a look, boots on the ground, of all the campsites here in the main campground, the Frontenac Campground at Frontenac State Park, located in Red Wing, Minnesota. And really in Frontenac, Minnesota. Just for added touch here, we're just gonna see if we can sneak in a quick peek at Yan Teopa Rock, real quick. But yeah, I hope this helped. Hope you're able to prepare. If this did help, you know, please let me know. It kind of means a lot if you just kind of let me know if it helped you. It warmed my heart, really. This trail is hard to see in the fall here. Traffic path here. Gotta see what the campsites look like from here. Got fruitcake in 40 Cipher-Tu is still observing me. There's always an NPC or some kind of muppet. Just serves as a turd in a punch bowl everywhere I go. It's really sad. Appreciate that, thank you. Type of trail, it looks like. Might be a cool one to check out though if you camp here at that campground we just took a look at. Yeah. Pop back up this way. We should have been off of site 49 right here, more than likely. One of the sites I recommended. Alright, so this might get kind of cray. But I have 0 gear. Except the chest rig, so I'm gonna try not to be too cocky and take a look here. So this might be the rock here. Wow. Wow. Kind of on the lower bluffs trail, the other side of the park. Real steep. It's really windy too. And the leaves hide various obstacles. And it is rooty and rocky. That lady looked like she had a beverage in one of her hands while she was holding 2 sticks. She might want to tuck that beverage away for a little while. Wow, this is crazy. When I did the Lower Bluffs trail hike a while back, that was one of the first times I got like really creeped out. Look, I was high up and it was really close like this. This isn't as steep as it was over there, but this is still pretty crazy. On a scale of 1 to 10, I'd probably put this trail at like a 6, maybe a 5 for difficulty. Wow. There it is. There it is, guys. Wow. This tree helping us out here. legend behind this or something. It does look really fragile though, like if we had earthquakes here that really mattered as far as how powerful they were, it would just fall right in the middle. This is pretty awesome. You can keep going down here, but we're gonna hold off. Just wanted to see the rock here.
Morning.
Hey, good morning. How you doing? Oh, that's cool. All right, so we gotta. I'll leave the rest of this trail a mystery. We got really cool little bonus, a look at Yan Teopa Rock. And it is not far from the campground at all. In the past, I think I remember considering checking this out at night while I was camping here in the campground. Do not do that. Do not go on this trail at night. There was another trail I pondered doing that at Banning State Park. The one that goes to the waterfall. The day after a snowstorm. Right around sunset on Halloween. And I didn't do that. And I'm really glad I didn't, because about a year or so later, when I actually saw what that trail looked like, it could have been very, very dangerous. Yeah, this is super awesome. So the Mississippi River, Wisconsin on the other side, Lake Pepin down there. And Lake Pepin is also where Lake City is, which is where water skiing was invented, allegedly. I get some literature for you here. Yan Teopa is Dakota for rock with opening. It's believed to play a role in religious practices, but rumors are unsubstantiated, just like most of history. I added that. White settlers mistook. Oh, how dare they. Although living in America in 2025, drive, I can see how the Native Americans absolutely loathe Europeans. Yep, there's Wisconsin. Not too many people really care about. Even they don't. They're always over here. You see their plates all over. So if you get a ticket in Wisconsin and you can't pay for it right there on the spot, they will take you to jail. And that is that's disgusting. Given how much of the resources Minnesota provides Wisconsinites, you should give us a break if you're from Minnesota. But that's just another fun fact. So yeah, this is an awesome, awesome place. So we'll just do the hike back to the campground. I'm actually going to take these stairs because I just want to connect the dots. Oh, nice little grippy parts they put on them. We'll just call those grippies. While we're walking here, just point out, last weekend I was at Hayes Lake State Park. I did a scout of that campground. I also did a scout of the Old Mill State Park campground and the Red River State Recreation Area campground. So check those out if you're interested. I assure you they will be very helpful. Next weekend I plan to go back to La Quille Parle State Park. I'll probably scout that campground officially for publication. And then from there I plan to travel to Glacial Lake State Park and scout some of those backpack sites. The one I'm really looking forward to seeing is the backpack site on Baby Lake. So I emphasize that will be a success. And since this guy's leaving, we'll just go see what's in his tent. No, I'm just kidding. That was pretty funny. Alright, so we'll just keep cruising here until I shut it off. But thanks for taking a look. Appreciate your time. Again, if this helped you, let me know. It would really mean a lot to me. But I'll probably keep doing it no matter what. So you're not going to give me motivation or anything like that, but you will warm my heart, and with that comes gold in heaven, lest ye be tempted. Take care. This is kind of interesting. Wow, this looks like this was some kind of campsite or something. This might be some kind of a backup option if something weird happens and somebody needs a place to camp. It's kind of neat. Now we're just gonna go straight and head down that road there and head back to my super awesome new home, where only one thing annoys me instead of 8 things.